Hello YouTube, Triumph Guy here, and I'm going to show you how to do a full service on this 1999 Renault Clio. Now actually I've patched all the videos together, so the engine bay should just be under this side here, okay? Remove this bit of trim just up to there, and then you should just push these in and pull this up like this. Should then just undo these two little bolts here. Now remove the cover, like so. All you're going to do is just remove the filter. It can be a little bit of a pickle, but it does come out. You slide it towards yourself and then pull it upwards. You may have to bend the filter. Make sure the filter is orientated this way, and on top it's got an airflow arrow, which should line up with the airflow arrow there. You may have to bend it ever so slightly just to get it in. Place the 8mm wrong, the 6mm screws, and then put the panel back on. You need to put the panel in at this angle because there's 3 white hooks which need to go on sort of the windscreen side. Once it's in, securely push it in and then replace the rubber seal. First things first, we're going to need to undo all of these to get access to the air filter. So we've got some clips here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be able to feel that, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips. Place the screws and the clips on the back of the airbox. On the fuel filler cap side, put axle stands under it, chock it, etc, etc. So by the rear door, come straight down and then look up there and you'll see the fuel filter itself. Get a container underneath, and all this happens is this fuel filter slides out, but you need to disconnect these hoses first. Also note the ribbed side is closest to us, okay? So we need to do that when we put it back in. So these connections, all you do is you push that in and you pull it, push the green thing in, you pull it out towards you. There's one on each side, okay? That will just drip into there. One on each side. Push them in together and pull them out, and then do the same on the other side. I'm gonna have to take the camera off for that though. On that side, on that side. So I told a bit of a lie, that says out, but on the other one, the arrow's pointing away, so just be careful, just because the rib side, just make sure, so I'm gonna put the rib side that way, towards the out of. So I'm just gonna pop the filter back in its housing, and put that one on, and you should hear a click. That then goes in there. Put that one. Now please don't skip off the video because this comes the most important part. Now I am going to leave that jacked up for the time being for when we check for leaks, but this is the most important part of the video. Now for the mechanics among us, you would have realised that there's no manual pump to bleed the system. So what you're going to do is put the key in, don't turn it all the way, just to ignition, and you'll hear the fuel pump priming the system. Okay, so not all the way, do it a couple of times. You can actually hear the fuel getting pumped in at that end. You hear that? And you can hear it from the back end as well. Once it starts making that sound from the back end, you're good to go. So on VW and Audis, it takes about 5 times, but on this Clio I've done that about 15 times. So now for the moment of truth. Make sure it's out of gear. Let it run for a minute. Make sure that don't conk out. Go under and check for leaks. Give it a feel around there as well. Make sure it's not leaking. Unlike modern cars, it doesn't have individual coils, okay? So it's fairly simple, but what I would suggest is just doing one at a time so you don't get these HT leads mixed up. So what you're gonna do is just pull up nice and straight and put that to one side nice and safe. If you've got one, great. A spark plug removal socket, and as you can see there's rubber bushings in there to allow you to withdraw the spark plug. If you don't have one, don't worry, I'll show you a neat little trick in a minute. If you don't have a specialist socket, then just use a deep socket to get these off. Check the condition of the spark plug. As you can see, this one's running all right, to be honest. Next, if you can, get a hoover and just hoover out inside there. You may have to modify your Henry Hoover by taping, a thinner nozzle on it, but get it in there and give it a good old clean. Next, get your spark plug and put it back onto your tool. It should mean that it's not going to fall out. Just put it in there, and what you want to make sure is that you're very careful with how you thread it, because you don't want to cross thread these threads. Okay, you'll be in the world of hurt. So just do it by hand for a bit. And that's perfect, okay? That's what you want. You don't want to rush this. Set your torque wrench to 28 Newton meters and then tighten up till it clicks. Push that back on, just give it a nice click. Now, if you don't have one of them special tools, what you can use is a magnet. Fairly easy, yeah. Go onto the back of it and just withdraw it out that way. Now repeat the process on all the other cylinders. So first things first is remove the filler cap. He says, like that. Now, you'll see how clean this oil is, but it's be a shame to not do the oil change on this, because it's had a full service history on the year every year, minor and major, minor 1 year, major the other year. So let's keep the service history up on this vehicle. So one of the first checks I do is, if it's a filter like this where it's got the rib bits round, I will put the removal tool on it to see if it fits, and then try it on the actual filter before we take that filter out and realise that they're the wrong size. This has happened to me before. So I've tracked up this side of the car, the engine side, there's the gearbox side. We're going to go under and I'm going to locate the sump for you. So remember, on the engine side, with the straight under, it's just there, okay? You can see it has had a bit of a leak, so we're definitely going to have to replace that washer. We should always replace the washers anyway. Unscrew the sump plug and then allow about 10-15 minutes for the oil to fully drain out. Right, so take the old washer off and discard it. Then you get a new one, put it on there. Then we're going to reattach this onto there, and it's 20 Newton meters of torque. Reattach the sump plug and then give it a nice spray down and clean it all off so you can check for leaks. That's how it should look. Nice and clean, torqued up to 20 Newton meters, copper washer in there. The reason we clean it is so that we can check for leaks later. Now we're going to remove the filter, which is just located there. Sorry about the camera angle, it's the best I could do to get eyes on the filter. There's different tools you can use one of these, okay, just make sure it's the right size. I've already loosened mine, it shouldn't be on too tight, so I should be able to just do it by hand. So here's your new filter, just measure it up next to the old one, make sure that they're the same size. Next, get some engine oil, like that. Just going to lube up this new seal. Next, all you're going to do is clean up the dipstick. And then we're going to start by putting 3 litres of engine oil in. Note that on the side, I've got the markers, so we're just going to fill it up to that bit there. So still a litre left. So just before I do the last step, if you look in the comments, there's going to be a playlist with all maintenance to do with this car. So every single filter and, all that stuff. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, now time for the last bit. That's filled up. Make sure this is on the max mark, like it is, yeah. And then make sure it's not leaking from the bottom before you turn it on. and around the filter. Obviously there is some residue there from earlier. There you go, still no leaks, which is good. Now we're going to fire it up and then check for leaks again. Let it run for about 5 minutes, and then once it's stopped running, turn it off, check the oil level, make sure it's between the min and the max, and then you're good to go. A couple of other things that they normally check on a service or do is they'll oil up, grease up the door hinges. They'll check the brake fluid and test it, and the clutch fluid, to ensure that it's still okay. Check the level of the coolant, and a decent garage will read through your servicing book and see if you're outstanding any other servicing, i.e. cam belt, etc. If you've got anything else that you think should be in the full service, or advice, or any other checks, or your personal experiences with garages, then please put them in the comments. So thanks very much for watching. If you've got any questions, put them in the comment section. Also, if you look in the comment section, there's a pinned link for all things maintenance on this car. See you on the next one.